Over the past few months, we have witnessed the Australians' visa rejection has really spiked drastically. And this has brought a lot of disappointment to the genuine students who really want to pursue their studies in Australia. The government of Australia has recently published the visa rate for Nepal. And apparently we all know that the visa rate that was published for the month of June stands at 14%, which is dramatically low. And now this has brought a lot of disappointment to those genuine students who really want to go to Australia and pursue their studies. Having said this, does it actually going to end your dream to study in Australia? Or are there any ways out where you can actually live your dream? Folks, here's the answer. Your dream doesn't die. Today, I'm with Mr. Leigh, who represents Siam University by Global Academy in Thailand, who's going to shed light on all this aspects. Leigh, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. So my name's Leigh Pulford. I'm originally from Australia, from Perth, just my hometown. I've been living in Bangkok for 10 years, and that's where we have our partnership with Siam University and the Global Academy, where we offer a La Trobe University degree. Most of my experience is in higher education and international student recruitment. Having lived in Asia, the UK, and the US, I've been helping students for close to 20 years to get to their dream destination. But right now, we're really focusing on what's happening within Southeast Asia. There are so many options, especially in Thailand. I'd love to talk a little bit more about it with you.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty holistic experience, 20 years of experience in this industry. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about the international education insights from you today. And thank you once again, Mr. Leigh. I want to share with you the data. If you look at 2025 visa rates for Nepal, it was really high. I mean, I still remember back in December, the rate was really high. I mean, we stood at 90%, and then coming down to 14%, which I just shared with you just a while ago. I mean, this is a really disappointing drop. What's your understanding? Why do you think that the visa rates has kept on plummeting, 36, 33, 14%? And I assume, the rate even might plummet further.
Yeah, I mean, right now we know that the assessment level for applying for a visa is assessment level 3 in Australia. That makes it quite difficult for students to get visas. Of course, I can't comment on, the regulations or the visa officers, but ultimately students do need to have very strong financial backgrounds. They need to have the right documentation. They need to follow the genuine student framework in order to be able to apply for that visa. But as we stand right now, it's probably not advisable to be submitting an application for Australia. So there are a lot of different options that we have, pathway options through Thailand, for example, and we can speak about that. But there's also options across Southeast Asia and globally. So I think there's still great options for Kangaroo students that are looking to study abroad. It may mean studying in a different location first, but ultimately getting to Australia. And we can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So basically, you can start your studies in Thailand, and probably you can finish your study in Australia. So basically, you have an affiliation with La Trobe University, right?
That's correct. Yes.
These days, students have started exploring multiple destinations, Asia, Southeast Asia, and European countries too. Yeah. Taking into consideration of this demand, why do you think that Thailand at the moment has become a rising destination, and why now at the moment?
Yeah, really good question. So historically, we know that countries like Singapore and Malaysia were very strong in the Southeast Asia belt for students pursuing studies. There are Australian, British, Canadian, American universities that have branch campuses there. But Thailand's on the up and up. There are more options now. Starting a foreign degree, we're actually the first company and the first university to do it within Asia, to have an Australian degree transferring to La Trobe, where you start 2 years in Thailand, in Bangkok, and 2 years in Australia. So those transfer options are there. And not just with La Trobe University. We do have credit transfer with University of Technology Sydney, Macquarie, and some really great universities across Australia. So ultimately, the pathway is still there. It gives them the ability to reduce their cost in that first 2 years, and we support the students to transfer across to ultimately get to their dream. And if the assessment level changes, that's going to be the perfect time for them to apply for an Australian visa.
Absolutely. By then, probably a lot of things might change, and you never know what's ahead. Yeah,
that's absolutely right.
Correct. So, Leigh, I want to be very clear on this part because my audience would really want to know the importance of this session today. Is Thailand a destination because the students did not get visa, or the Australian destination is a bit tougher at the moment, and then they're bound to go to Australia, to Thailand? Or you really think it's a proper, proper destinations which can deliver a lot of ROI to them?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we know that tourism and hospitality and hotel vacationing in Thailand is sort of the number one. You know, about 65 million tourists come in to the country every single year. So similar to Nepal in that sense, in a big tourist spot. But ultimately, students are not seeing this as a backup plan. They're seeing this as a way to get on an Australian degree track and ultimately get to the university of their choice. Now, there are a number of different reasons that people do this. One, it's extremely safe in Thailand. We've got fantastic amenities, great hospitals, close to Nepal, right? Just a 3-hour flight from Nepal, multiple flights a day. So students are close to home and parents can come and visit. And we see more students going for that quality of life. If you're in Australia, the cost of living is so high right now, it's very challenging. It puts a lot of stress on students. They're having to do part-time jobs. They're trying to support their living costs, but a lot of the time they cannot afford to live the way that they wish to live. So it's a lot more affordable. The quality of life, security in Thailand is it's very safe country to live in. And you know, personally, I've lived there for 10 years. My family lives there. My wife walks around in the evening time. She's never had any issues before. So it's an extremely welcoming country for foreign people to live and to study as an up-and-coming study destination.
My students would go to Thailand with a lot of hope and they have dream to excel. So let's say they study for 2 years there. During these 2 periods of the studies, how will they be empowered and how their profile will be changed so that when they apply to Australia, it strengthens their probability to get the visa?
This is a great question and something that we take very seriously at the Global Academy. So we're bringing employability to the front of the degree. From day one, we have students networking through the Thai Australian Chamber of Commerce in Bangkok. We're one of the premier education sponsors. We are taking students on company visits. We're guaranteeing internships throughout the whole degree. In the first 2 or 3 years of the degree, they could do short internships in between their semesters. In the 4th year of the degree, we've guaranteed a 6-month placement into a company. We have a dedicated internship program director that will place your students straight in. So ultimately, the ROI comes from the experience they're having during that first 2 years in Bangkok. It's a global city. It's very multicultural. We've got students from all around the world studying with us that ultimately wish to get to Australia. But remember, the other option is students can actually complete the full 4-year degree within Thailand. Many students that come and really love Thailand and want to lower their costs do actually decide to stay in Thailand. They receive a 1-year post-study work permit, and after that, they would need a company to sponsor them. But the very entrepreneurial students are already starting to think, well, maybe I start up my own company in Thailand.
Interesting.
The Thai authorities have made it much easier for foreigners to set up companies, and students, once they graduate, could set up a company and actually sponsor their own work permit to stay and run a business in Thailand. So quite interesting and really pro-business, in Thailand.
Oh, that's nice. So the country sounds to be pretty investment-friendly country as well.
Absolutely.
Things that you have talked about, I think it will resonate very well with the audience. If you could say, what portion of your students have actually run up and having completed their studies for 2 years there and have actually transferred to, let's say, Australia?
Yeah. So right now, the challenge we have is that many of our students from South Asia and from Southeast Asia, those countries all have an assessment level 3. So we're basically saying to students, look, it's not the right time to apply. Okay. So those students are staying back and they're still progressing onto a La Trobe University degree, but they're staying back in Thailand. The other option is that students finish their degree in Thailand. If the situation does not change on visa success rate, they could do a master's degree in Australia once they've completed. So there is still that pathway for them to get to Australia, and we are going to be rolling out more master's programs as part of the Global Academy as well. But right now, it's a very challenging time. I understand that. It's better to wait and see, but not lose time. In the sense, start the degree now and get on that Australian track.
Yeah, that's nice. So let's talk about, you talked about cheaper and comparatively lower living costs there. So not just the cost, talk about tuition fee and adding up with the living cost and all. So could you break down the kind of cost that actually involves and why you think that it will leverage more to the students in terms of cost?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. So obviously value for money is important right now. Many countries around the world are not doing well. So saving money wherever you can makes a lot of sense. So in terms of our tuition fees, our undergraduate program, 4-year degree, the total price is around $27,000 US. That's before scholarship. We do offer scholarships here of typically between $3,000 to $6,000. So thinking that, it brings the cost down to around about $5,000 to $6,000 per year. Comparing that with Australia, you'd be looking at $30,000 to $40,000 per year. Talking about the cost of living, we are not in the center of Bangkok, so we're not in these areas where there are a lot of distractions. We're on the university side of the city, but we're still close. We're about 8 BTS stops or MRT stops, which is the underground train in Thailand. So very accessible for students, but most students live for around $500 per month. And that includes a 1-bedroom private apartment, very close to the campus, literally walking distance to the campus, 3 to 5 minute walk, and students' food, mobile phone bill, transportation costs. That's typically the average. So if you compared that to Australia, it would be costing thousands of dollars each month, and you wouldn't be living close to the university because the housing crisis is quite severe in Australia right now. So it's a very affordable, but you're still getting the value of that Australian degree. We use all the same curriculum, and the faculty are employed to deliver the La Trobe curriculum to all of our students.
Leigh, in the middle of the interview, somewhere you talked about scholarship. I think just a while ago you talked about the scholarship ranging from 3,000 to 6,000.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you have any real example from Nepal
Yes.
where the student has actually applied and got that maximum scholarship?
Yeah, great question. So typically students that have a very strong GPA or really good A levels or IB results, we're able to give them that 6,000 amount.
Okay.
I would need to see their application, and we'll make an assessment with our admissions office on the amount. But we have some fantastic students coming from some of the best schools here in Nepal, from GEMS, Yulian School, Ratu Bangla School. Right. So these are top schools. These are A levels and IB students that are coming in. They're very aspirational, but they understand saving costs in the first 2 years. It makes a lot of sense. Ultimately, with that view to get them to Australia when they progress. Students do need to maintain a 55% grade, course average, in the first 2 years in order to progress onto the La Trobe degree. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet is we do have a partnership with the University of Victoria for any students that are looking at going to Canada. That's a computer science degree, so definitely Google University of Victoria Computer Engineering. It's a great ranked program.
Check that out, folks. I think that's a very nice thing that you have just shared. I want to make sure that when we sit with the students, we have a proper counseling, and they understand that's what you are doing, what we are doing, and what they really want to do when they go to Thailand. You see, it's not just about sending the students abroad. It's about building their dreams.
Right.
Yeah. And what support mechanism that you actually have? If you could name them 1, 2, 3. Particularly those support mechanism when they land there.
That's a great question. So we've got our student experience team that is there to support students from before they even arrive. Okay, so obviously accommodation is the top one. I want them to be comfortable and safe and secure before they're focusing on their studies. So we've got a range of agreements with accommodation options directly across the road from the campus. So getting them into good quality accommodation. Okay, that's number one. Second, students need to be attending their classes, but we've got fantastic out-of-class support, both English language, Thai language classes to support them with their Thai language, and we're supporting them to open up a bank account. We're supporting them with their visa renewals, because even myself as a foreigner living in Thailand, I need to renew my visa every year. So we're supporting students completely throughout the whole process. Now, third, it comes to employability, internships, and cultural exchange, as well as industry engagement. So we are getting students' confidence levels up. Right, so we're taking them to networking events, we're putting them in front of companies, companies are coming onto campus to get them ready to be employable, right? Because this is 4 years, but after that, whether they do a master's or not, they're going straight into the workforce. So what I actually say to students is, I would rather give you 4 internships, and 3 of those internships you do not enjoy. Why is that? It's better to know that you don't want to do that job. It's better to know that you don't want to work for that type of company. So when you're interviewing with a company, they're interviewing you, but as a student, you should also be interviewing the company. I think this is the skills that we're trying to give a global perspective, but also within Thailand, which is a very multinational country, while they're doing their studies.
I think I was about to ask you questions. Are there any hidden benefits that our students are going to get? Probably you've talked about a lot of...
I think I've got most of them.
Are there any?
Look, I mean, Thailand is a great place to live. Like I said, it's comfortable, it's safe. You can travel through Thailand, you can easily travel within Southeast Asia. You're still close to home, okay? And your parents can come and visit for the vacation in between the semesters. I mean, I love seeing our students interacting. We do an amazing race around Bangkok.
So the affordability,
accessibility is there. During the orientation, we're doing an amazing race throughout Bangkok, so they're familiar with how to move around and different parts of the city.
Lovely. So I have one more question, Leigh. Do you think is there any myth about pathway studies, particularly going to Thailand, and you really want to bust that myth today.
I think many people think of Thailand as a tourist destination.
Yeah.
What they don't know is there are some fantastic universities that have partnered with foreign universities to deliver very high quality degrees. So the beauty of our 2-degree program, students doing 4 years, they get a Siam University degree and a La Trobe University degree or the University of Victoria. Okay, so everything that I spoke about being a great place to live and come for vacation, it's also a great place to study. And we're seeing students that are very comfortable. They're not stressed about cost of living. They're not stressed about security or safety. They're coming to class, they're doing fantastically, and then they're enjoying their time off, on the weekends.
Yeah. So, all right, folks, if you're watching this video today and you might want to know where do you want to visit, where would you want to meet Mr. Leigh? You are still in Nepal for a couple of
That's right. Yep. So I'm leaving on Tuesday back to Bangkok.
Yeah.
So feel free to reach out to Kangaroo here, talk to your counsellor. They can get in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to come down to the office, Kangaroo office in Kathmandu.
In fact, if you have just got a visa rejected, maybe a couple of days back, and you are very disappointed and you want some help, you want to talk to us or you want to talk to Mr. Leigh, please feel free to visit Kangaroo Education Foundation. And before we actually call it a day, I have a request to you. Would you want to make any final appeal to the students, or you have any particular feedback, or do you have any final words to the viewers?
Yeah, sure. I think in this current climate with ChatGPT and AI, you can do all of the research yourself. Okay, so go and sit on the computer or on your phone and do that research. So you can check out our social media, you can look at the student experience, but also you need to start referencing and cross-referencing different university options. Now, me having done marketing for universities in many different destinations, destination is key, but program and degree, but leading to employability is really the stretch they need to make. So they've got to combine that. Get online, do some prompts, and see which universities will fit your degree focus.
Absolutely. All right, folks, thank you so much for listening and watching to this video. And you've been such a lovely audience. We'll definitely come back to the series of podcasts in days to come. However, I'd like to thank Mr. Leigh for your time and effort. And yes, if your visa has been rejected, please do not feel disappointed. We are out there for you. We'll walk through your journey, and we're out here to support you. And of course, your dream hasn't ended. It's now time to get started. Act now and act smart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.